Another thing I wanted to mention that I did that was significant was this. I can't remember. It's an LVDS cable, I think is what it's called, that supplies the signaling power and everything to the actual LCD panel. It's typically, I guess actually always on a laptop or netbook, routed through the hinge to the screen. And I basically took that all apart, and I did away with that back and top piece of the whole panel that surrounds the screen. And I also removed the keyboard and found that it would boot without the keyboard and without the trackpad being connected. And I left the keyboard off so that there's no chance of having key presses up in there with wires bumping around or something in there while it's going down the road. And but when I took it apart, this cable was underneath this layer, and it came in through the hinge. And I found that it was very tight to be able to allow the console piece, the trim piece here that would cover this. I couldn't get it to fit in there without putting that cable in too much tension, but by putting it where it came, I cut a little bit of this black, whatever this plastic insulation, I guess it is. I cut a slight bit of that out so that the cable would have room to come out of over that layer just below the keyboard, so that it gave me 2 or 3 inches more slack, which is going to make this a lot easier to do without stressing that cable. I thought that was worth the mention, since one of the biggest reasons that I was coming across with my research on all this to not use this type of panel is simply that this connection is special for everyone, and that getting an adapter to power that, if you're going to have the computer mounted elsewhere, is complicated and adds an additional layer of cost and complexity. So doing it this way, I didn't have to buy anything else than what I had, at least for that part of it, and just basically took the netbook apart to use its parts in here.